The Lakers are rolling right now. The Lakers absolutely controlled this game from start to finish. And looking at the numbers, it's easy to see how they pulled it off. They piled up 126 points against the top team in the West and held the Thunder to just 99. That's a massive gap, and the way they got there was straight up dominance. They put up 103 points through the first 3 quarters, which is wild against the best team in the conference. Scoring that much that early is not something you see every day. What really jumped out to me was how they caught fire from deep, especially in the first half. They knocked down 15 threes in just those first 2 quarters, which tied the franchise record for most threes in a half. That kind of shooting makes any team dangerous, and for the Lakers, it just opened up everything. They ended the first half with 78 points, tying their season high for points in a half. The efficiency was incredible. They were hitting shots from all over, and Oklahoma City just could not keep up with that pace. The lead ballooned to as many as 29 points at one point, and even when they got a little sloppy in the third quarter, they still kept full control of the game. Every time the Thunder tried to cut into the lead, the Lakers had an answer. Whether it was draining another 3 or forcing a stop with tight defense, they didn't let Oklahoma City build any momentum. And I've got to say, holding Shea to 0 free throws for the entire game is no small thing. That guy lives at the line, and the fact that he didn't attempt a single free throw tonight, that speaks volumes about the Lakers' discipline on the defensive end. They also did a great job cleaning up on the boards. The rebounding numbers from their key guys really tell the story. Multiple players grabbed at least 5 rebounds, and they didn't give the Thunder many second chances. Plus, they moved the ball well, spreading the assists around and finding open shooters all game long. The flow of their offense looked sharp, and they capitalized on every bit of space Oklahoma City gave them. Now let's get into these individual numbers because they're just too good to ignore. Luka led the way with 30 points, and it honestly felt like he could have scored even more if he wanted to. He hit 11 of his 20 shots, and from 3, he went 5 for 11. He was filling up the stat sheet with 7 rebounds and 6 assists too, just doing a little bit of everything. On top of that, he swiped 2 steals, adding to his impact on both ends. Watching him work was just pure control. He made the game look easy. LeBron James followed up with 19 points of his own, shooting an efficient 9 for 16 from the field. He was perfect from 3, hitting his only attempt, and he dished out 7 assists to keep the offense humming. He also grabbed 3 rebounds and picked up a steal, contributing across the board. His experience just oozed through this game. He picked his moments, and when the Lakers needed to settle things down, he was right there making the smart play. Austin Reeves played a fantastic game too, pouring in 20 points on 7 for 15 shooting. He found his stroke from long range, drilling 4 out of 8 from deep. Along with his scoring, he chipped in 3 assists and 2 rebounds. He also got himself a steal and a block, showing his activity on both ends. Reeves gave them great balance, hitting shots when they needed them and keeping the energy high. By the way, if you guys enjoy these deep dives, I'll be posting every day during this season. I'd genuinely appreciate if you could subscribe. Thanks. Anyways, the Lakers. Gabe Vincent had a strong outing, especially from beyond the arc. He scored 12 points, and every single one came from his 4 made threes. He shot 4 for 7 from the field, and matched that from deep, going 4 for 7 from distance. He added 3 rebounds and 3 assists, making sure to stay involved, even when he wasn't shooting. Vincent's ability to space the floor was huge, in keeping the Thunder's defense stretched thin. Dorian Finney-Smith could not miss from long range. He ended the night with 14 points, and he went a perfect 5 for 5 from 3. That's just crazy efficiency. He also pulled down 7 rebounds and handed out 2 assists. His flawless shooting night gave the Lakers a huge boost, and his rebounding helped keep the Thunder from gaining any traction on the glass. Rui Hachimura quietly put together a solid performance too. He finished with 11 points, going 4 for 10 from the field. He grabbed 7 rebounds, picked up an assist, and blocked a shot as well. His physicality around the basket and willingness to battle for boards really stood out, especially in a game where every possession mattered. Jackson Hayes made his presence felt as well, scoring 7 points on an efficient 3 for 4 shooting. He pulled down 5 rebounds, giving them toughness inside and helping control the paint. He did not register any assists, steals, or blocks, but his work on the boards and ability to finish around the rim gave them exactly what they needed from him. Jordan Goodwin chipped in with 4 points, going 2 for 4 from the field. He also collected 5 rebounds and dished out 2 assists. Even though he did not light up the scoreboard, those contributions matter. He gave them solid minutes off the bench and helped keep the energy up whenever he was on the floor. When you add all that together, it paints the full picture of why the Lakers ran away with this game. They shot the lights out, moved the ball beautifully, defended with purpose, and every player in the rotation found a way to make an impact. From Luka's leadership to Finney-Smith's perfect shooting to the way they shut down Shea's free throw attempts, it was just an all-around clinic. This game was a clear reminder that when the Lakers play with this kind of energy and execution, they're a tough team to stop. The numbers say it all, and tonight, they were the loudest part of the story. And what's so important, the big three were great tonight. The combination of Luka, LeBron James, and Austin Reeves has turned into something a lot more powerful than just three good players sharing the court. The way they've blended their games statistically is flat out ridiculous. From scoring efficiency to playmaking to how they lift the entire team when they're all together, this trio has been operating like a well-calibrated machine that just refuses to break down. Let's start with the scoring numbers, because those have been absurd. When these three are on the court, they're consistently pushing the scoring load to levels that most teams can't even dream of. Luka's been averaging 27.2 points per game, which isn't surprising given his reputation, but it's the consistency that's impressive. Night in and night out, he's providing that scoring punch. LeBron's been right behind him, rolling along with over 25 points per game since returning from injury. And then there's Reeves, who, despite being the youngest and probably the least expected member of this trio to break out, is pouring in 21.2 points per game across 22 games alongside Luka. These are not inflated numbers either. This is efficient, meaningful production across the board. Speaking of efficiency, this trio is giving efficiency a whole new definition. Reeves is hitting shots at 47.6% from the field, draining threes at 39.3%, and cashing in free throws at a ridiculous 90.7%. That is the kind of shooting line you usually see from a specialist, not someone giving you over 20 points per game. Luka, even with the heavy workload and defensive attention, is still shooting a respectable 41.5% from the floor and knocking down threes at 35.3%. Then there's LeBron, who might as well have an efficiency textbook written about him at this point in his career. He keeps finding ways to get his shots to fall while drawing defenders like moths to a flame. But scoring is only part of the equation here. What really elevates this trio is their playmaking. Together, they combine for 25.5 assists per game, which is a huge number by any standard. Luka leads the way with 7.8 assists. LeBron is right there at 8 assists per game, and Reeves quietly chips in 4.9. It's this balance that makes them so hard to defend. There's no single point of attack for defenses to key in on, because all three of them are actively creating opportunities, not just for themselves, but for everyone around them. The on-court impact these three have together is even more obvious when you dive into the advanced metrics. When all three share the floor, the Lakers' net rating skyrockets to plus 12.3 per 100 possessions. To put it bluntly, that is elite. That kind of net rating does not happen by accident. For context, when even one of them is off the floor, the team's net rating drops to plus 4.1. That gap tells you everything you need to know. This trio is not just good, they are transformational when working together. Reeves, in particular, has seen a noticeable boost from this trio formation. His true shooting percentage has climbed to 64.7% when sharing the court with Luka, which is a sizable jump from his pre-trade mark of 60.3%. That kind of improvement speaks volumes about the impact of playing alongside high-level creators like Luka and LeBron. Reeves is finding better shots, getting cleaner looks, and capitalizing at an incredible rate. Clutch moments have been another area where this trio thrives. In fourth quarters, they've combined to shoot 51.2% from the field and 42.1% from deep. When you stack that against the league averages of 45.3% shooting overall and 36.8% from three, you see just how much of a problem they become late in games. They do not just survive crunch time, they take over. What's really fascinating about this trio is how much they balance each other out. Luka brings the gravity and high usage playmaking that warps defenses and forces constant adjustments. LeBron brings the veteran poise and multi-dimensional game that keeps the offense humming, while Reeves provides sharp off-ball movement and elite spot-up shooting to punish any lapse in coverage. When these three are firing together, opposing defenses are stretched so thin it almost feels unfair. Beyond just the basic numbers, when you compare them historically, this trio holds up remarkably well. Against the Warriors' famous trio of Curry, Thompson, and Green, the Lakers trio outpaces them in both net rating at plus 12.3 compared to the Warriors plus 11.8, and combined assists 25.5 to the Warriors 20.1. The true shooting percentage is another win for the Lakers trio, sitting at 64.7%, while the Warriors group hovered around 61.2% at their peak. Comparisons to other modern trios tell a similar story. The Brooklyn trio of Durant, Harden, and Irving played only 16 games together, and the Lakers trio has already put together 9 games with each player scoring 20 or more points. That's an instant signal of consistency and high-level performance that few trios in recent memory have matched. Even the Miami Heat trio of James, Wade, and Bosh, who were celebrated for their success, posted a peak net rating of plus 10.9 in the 2012-13 season. The Lakers' current trio edges them out there too, with that plus 12.3 mark. They're also getting more from deep, averaging 9.1 made three-pointers per game compared to the Heat's 5.4. That is not a small margin, especially considering how much the modern game relies on perimeter scoring. Going further back, the Cavaliers trio of James, Irving, and Love during the 2016 playoffs posted a net rating of plus 8.7. Once again, Luka, LeBron, and Reeves are ahead. The Lakers trio is also more efficient, boasting a true shooting percentage of 64.7% compared to 59.1% for the Cavaliers trio. The Celtics' Pierce, Garnett, and Allen trio from 2008 was legendary for its defense, locking teams down with a defensive rating of 98.9. But this Lakers trio answers with firepower, posting an offensive rating of 110.2. The assist numbers also lean in the Lakers' favor, with 25.5 assists compared to Boston's 18.7. The Lakers trio's willingness to share the ball has made their offense flow smoothly and kept defenses guessing at all times. Even comparing them to some of the most iconic trios in history, the Lakers group holds up shockingly well. The Bulls trio of Jordan, Pippen, and Rodman during their 96 season had a net rating of plus 13.4, which is slightly higher, but the Lakers trio has a clear edge in perimeter shooting at 39.3%, while the Bulls were at 32.1%. In today's game, that extra accuracy from deep makes a world of difference. Then there's the Lakers' legendary trio of Magic, Kareem, and Worthy from the 1987 season. Their assist numbers were a touch higher at 26.1 per game, but in terms of efficiency, Luka, LeBron, and Reeves have the upper hand with a true shooting percentage of 64.7% compared to 58.9% for that classic group. What ties all these numbers together is not just how strong they look in isolation, but how they build off one another. Luka, LeBron, and Reeves are not three players simply stacking up individual stats. Their production intertwines in a way that maximizes each of their strengths. Luka's playmaking opens lanes for LeBron and Reeves. LeBron's all-around game fills every gap on the court. Reeves' shooting and smart movement keeps defenses honest and punishes them for overcommitting. This is why their collective numbers look so sharp across every category. The beauty of it all is that these stats are not inflated by a soft schedule or limited sample size. They've consistently performed at this level over a substantial number of games, and the advanced metrics confirm that this is not a fluke. From scoring output to assist production to efficiency percentages, the trio keeps producing numbers that stack up favorably against just about every big three the league has seen. What stands out the most is their ability to maintain elite levels of performance while balancing volume with efficiency. They are not sacrificing shot quality for quantity, and they are not padding stats during garbage time. Every number here reflects meaningful, impactful basketball, whether it is their combined scoring pushing toward the top of the league, their assist totals leading to constant ball movement, or their efficiency blowing away even historical powerhouses. Luka, LeBron, and Reeves have turned themselves into a statistical powerhouse that demands respect. But besides them, I want to talk about DFS, because he's been insane. Dorian Finney-Smith has been exactly what this Lakers team needed in the fifth option role, and it shows across every single number. It's wild how much impact he's having while flying just under the radar. When you think about fifth options, you usually picture a guy who just sort of blends into the background, but Finney-Smith is way past that. He's not just surviving out there, he's thriving, and the stats are all the proof you need. He's putting up 8.5 points per game, which might not sound like much until you realize how efficiently he's getting those points. He's shooting 44.2% from the field, But the real headline is that 3-point percentage. Finney-Smith is knocking down threes at 39.7%, which is a massive deal for spacing, especially when over 72% of his field goal attempts are coming from beyond the arc. That's not just high-volume perimeter shooting. That's basically a declaration of war on defenders trying to help off him. What I really like about this is how perfectly it fits next to stars like LeBron and Luka. The moment defenses even think about sagging off Finney-Smith to clog the paint, he's making them pay with that near 40% clip from three. And this is not some random hot streak. This is sustainable, reliable shooting that stretches defenses and forces tough decisions. They cannot ignore him, no matter how badly they want to help on the big names. Rebounding might not be his calling card, but he's still pulling down 3.9 boards per game, including 1.3 on the offensive glass. Those second chance points are gold, especially in tight games where every possession counts. He's cleaning up the scraps while still keeping the floor spaced, and that kind of balance is rare for a player in his role. Defensively, Finney-Smith is holding it down like a seasoned vet. He's grabbing 0.9 steals and adding 0.4 blocks per game. Those numbers might seem modest on the surface, but they paint the picture of a versatile wing defender who's constantly active. He's not gambling. He's playing smart, staying solid on switches, and contesting shots without fouling. When you're a fifth option, you do not need to put up gaudy defensive stats. You just need to make life miserable for your assignment. Finney-Smith has mastered that. The advanced metrics are where things really start cooking. His true shooting percentage is an elite 57.4%, which is flat out incredible for a role player. That kind of efficiency from a fifth option is exactly why this Lakers offense hums the way it does. He knows his role, he sticks to it, and he executes it with precision. Even better, when Finney-Smith shares the court with the Lakers stars, the net rating explodes to plus 12.3. That's not just a coincidence, that's impact. The moment he steps on the floor with the big guns, the entire team gets better. It's almost ridiculous how smooth the lineups feel with him out there. Now, contrast that with what happens when he sits. The net rating plunges by 8.2. That kind of swing is massive. It tells you that Finney-Smith is not just a background player, he's an essential piece of this puzzle. And then there's the clutch factor. He's already got 4 games this season with at least 5 made threes, which shows he can step up and deliver when the team needs a spark. Sure, he's not going to drop 30 every night, but when his number is called, he's ready. His 20-point outburst against Houston, where he hit over 54% of his threes, is just one example of the kind of punch he can bring in those moments. What really helps Finney-Smith stand out is when you compare him to other fifth options across the league. Take Royce O'Neal over in Phoenix, for example. O'Neal is scoring 7.4 points per game and pulling down 4.8 boards, which is solid. But Finney-Smith edges him out with a cleaner shooting profile, hitting 57.4% true shooting compared to O'Neal's 54.1. In a league where every fraction of a percentage matters, that efficiency is a clear win. Now look at Derrick Jones Jr. with the Clippers. He's scoring 8.1 points per game and pulling in 3.5 rebounds while shooting 38.2% from deep. Jones might be the flashier athlete, sure, but Finney-Smith brings more playoff experience and a steadier hand. That matters, especially when the bright lights of the postseason flip on. Nicholas Batum with the Sixers has carved out a nice role too, averaging 6.3 points and 4.1 rebounds while shooting 39.1% from deep. Batum might be the better passer, no question, but Finney-Smith has him beat in the durability department. At 31 years old, Finney-Smith still has plenty of gas in the tank, while Batum at 36 is nearing the finish line. Then you have Kyle Anderson with the Heat. He's putting up 6.8 points and 4.3 rebounds, but he's only hitting 32.7% from three. That's a big gap compared to Finney-Smith's near 40% clip. Anderson brings more playmaking, but when it comes to pure spacing and keeping the offense open, Finney-Smith has the clear advantage. What pulls all this together is how Finney-Smith blends efficiency, defense, and playoff experience into one clean, reliable package. He's not flashy, he's not loud, but he's devastatingly effective. Among forwards, with at least 200 three-point attempts this season, he ranks in the top 10 for percentage made. That's elite company, especially for a fifth option. He's doing his job so well that defenses are forced to respect him, no matter how much they wish they could leave him alone to clog up the paint. And let's not overlook his postseason resume. Finney-Smith has started over 20 playoff games, including a run to the Western Conference Finals in 2022. That kind of experience is invaluable, especially on a roster built for deep runs. He's been in the high-pressure environments, he's seen the toughest defenses, and he knows how to hold his ground when every possession matters. Financially, he's a bargain too. Finney-Smith is earning $13.4 million per year, which is right in that sweet spot for a high-level role player, compared to Batum at $11.7 million and O'Neal at $9.5 million. Finney-Smith's production more than justifies his contract. For what the Lakers are getting, spacing, defense, and postseason reliability, it's hard to argue they could do better at that price. The numbers do not lie. Finney-Smith is outperforming nearly every other fifth option in the league when you stack up scoring efficiency, floor spacing, defensive activity, and lineup impact. He's giving the Lakers exactly what they need from that role, and he's doing it at a level that most teams can only dream about. What makes all this even more impressive is how seamlessly he's blended into the Lakers system. He's not out there forcing shots or trying to play outside his role. He understands his job and he executes it to perfection. Whether it's stretching the floor for Luka and LeBron to attack, crashing the offensive glass for extra possessions, or sticking to his man defensively, Finney-Smith is consistently making the right plays. The Lakers stars can do their thing because Finney-Smith is doing his. He's the kind of player that glues everything together without needing the spotlight. And that's exactly what championship teams need. Every title contender needs that one guy who does not care about headlines, but quietly fills in the gaps and makes everyone around him better. When you line up all the numbers, all the comparisons, and all the impact metrics, it's clear as day that Finney-Smith is not just another role player. He's one of the best fifth options in the entire league, and the numbers absolutely back that up. But lastly, I want to talk about Gabe, because he's been hooping. Gabe Vincent has quietly been one of the most valuable pieces on this Lakers roster, and the numbers prove it from every angle. As the backup point guard, he's not just holding the line, he's strengthening it, and the stats do all the talking. Vincent's scoring has been steady at 6.5 points per game, but what matters more is how he's getting those points. He's shooting 40.5% from the field, which might seem average, but then you notice he's hitting threes at 35.9%. That's critical, especially considering almost 73% of his total shots are coming from beyond the arc. He's a true spacing weapon, one that defenses simply cannot afford to ignore. The whole value of Vincent starts with that spacing. By staying a threat from deep, he forces defenders to stick with him, opening up the floor for the stars to attack. Luka and LeBron get cleaner driving lanes because Vincent's man cannot sag off without risking an open three. It's simple math, and Vincent makes the numbers work beautifully. Plus, with that three-point percentage sitting just under 36%, he's right in that sweet spot where defenders have to respect the shot, but he's also efficient enough to punish them when they hesitate. It does not stop at shooting, though. Vincent is one of the smartest decision makers on this roster. He averages 1.4 assists per game. And while that number is not going to jump off the page, the real story is in the turnover rate. He is only turning the ball over at a ridiculously low rate of 7.6%. That is outstanding for a point guard, backup, or not. He keeps the offense running clean, avoids the careless mistakes, and makes sure every possession has a chance to finish with points. Defensively, Vincent brings exactly the kind of pest you want off the bench. He's averaging 0.7 steals per game, and even though that number might look modest, it reflects the kind of constant pressure he's putting on opposing ball handlers. He's not out there gambling for steals and leaving gaps behind him. He's playing disciplined, aggressive defense, staying in front of his man and making life difficult for second-unit guards across the league. That defensive impact shows up in the advanced numbers too, and it's a huge reason the Lakers thrive when he's on the floor. Speaking of advanced numbers, Vincent's effective field goal percentage is sitting at 53.5%, which is extremely solid for a backup guard. He's not just jacking up empty shots. He's taking smart looks, playing within himself, and maximizing efficiency. It fits perfectly with the role the Lakers need from him. He does not force the issue, but he still delivers when the opportunity comes. Now, when Vincent is on the court with the Lakers stars, the team's net rating is an eye-popping plus 12.3. That is not a coincidence, and it's not a small sample fluke either. His presence in those lineups boosts the efficiency across the board. When he sits, the net rating crashes by 8.2. That swing is enormous. It tells you that Vincent is far from just another rotation player. He is a glue guy who elevates lineups every time he steps on the floor. Clutch performances, he's got those too. Vincent has already knocked down 4 games this season with at least 4 made threes, showing he can light it up from deep when the moment calls for it. And in that 20-point explosion against Houston, he splashed 6 threes at a 46.2% clip. He is not just surviving in big moments, he is thriving in them. giving the Lakers crucial bench production when they need it most. When you compare him to other top backup point guards this season, the gap becomes clear. Let's start with Cameron Payne with the Knicks. Payne is giving them 7.8 points and 2.9 assists per game with a 36.4% three-point percentage. Payne edges out Vincent slightly in scoring and assists, but Vincent's efficiency is stronger with a 53.5% effective field goal percentage compared to Payne's 51.2. That's a clear edge for Vincent, especially when you factor in his ability to fit seamlessly into lineups with high usage stars. He does not need to dominate the ball to be effective, which makes him a better fit for this Lakers roster. Brandon Podziemski with the Warriors brings a different kind of profile, stacking up 11 points, 5.3 rebounds, and 3.2 assists, while shooting 34.8% from three. Podziemski's rebounding numbers are way higher, no doubt, but Vincent's shooting is a step ahead, with a 1.1% advantage from deep. More importantly, Vincent's role as a complementary piece on a contender makes him the more natural fit for postseason rotations. He understands how to play off the ball, he stays locked in defensively, and he does not try to do too much. That kind of discipline is crucial when you are backing up one of the most stacked starting lineups in the league. And let's not forget the playoff pedigree. Vincent has started over 20 postseason games, including a finals run in 2023. That kind of experience is gold. He knows what it feels like to play under the brightest lights, and he knows how to keep his composure when the pressure is on. Not every backup guard in this league can say that. In fact, most of them cannot. Financially, Vincent is a steal. At $11 million per year, he comes in cheaper than most. For a team like the Lakers, built around max contracts and star power, finding that kind of value in a backup point guard is a big win. He is giving them playoff-tested reliability, shooting, defense, and composure, all at a price point that fits perfectly into their roster structure. What pulls it all together is that Vincent does not have to dominate the box score to dominate his role. He knows exactly what is expected of him, and he delivers it consistently. He spaces the floor, defends his position, keeps turnovers low, and knocks down threes at a rate that stretches defenses. He is not hunting highlights, he is hunting wins. His impact is not always flashy, but it is always felt. Whether he is hitting timely threes, staying attached to opposing guards, or simply keeping the offense organized while Luka and LeBron rest, Vincent is playing his role with precision. His numbers stack up across the board, and he keeps showing up in the plus-minus columns as a positive force. That is no accident. All season long, Vincent has been exactly what the Lakers need off the bench. His efficiency, defensive intensity, and smart decision-making have kept the second unit afloat and elevated the starters when they share the floor. When you compare him to other backups around the league, he measures up in all the right ways. And in some areas, he even surpasses expectations. The combination of shooting, defense, experience, and value makes him one of the most underrated backup point guards in the entire league. If you guys enjoyed this, I'll be posting every day during this season. I genuinely appreciate if you could subscribe. Thanks for watching.